Hey, it's Raf. I'm 1 year on T, 11 months post-op, and 2.5 weeks into recovering from my revision, and let's talk about that. So I got my revision with the same surgeon that did my initial top surgery procedure, and honestly, I feel like I really had to advocate for myself and I really had to prove that I should have it, which I don't think is how things should be. Initially, about a month after my top surgery, I was having some issues with how things were looking, but my surgeon was telling me to just lower my body fat and increase my muscle mass in order to improve the appearance of my chest. And I did that. 8 months later, I come back pretty swole, if I do say so myself, with a lot less body fat and a lot more muscle mass, and I still felt pretty frustrated with my dog ears. Like, I'm doing all I can, and I was pretty sure that I needed extra help, and I felt like I had to really convince him, and I felt like if I hadn't come back with a much more fit body, I feel like I would not have gotten this revision. That's something that probably needs to change. So that's been my experience, and I feel very, very fortunate to have gotten it, but I also feel kind of yucky that I feel like I had to earn it by working out. But talking about the revision itself, I had two procedures done during that appointment and it was a very, very quick thing. It was like a whole half hour at the most. But yeah, so the two procedures that I got done were one, getting injections along the scars themselves, and two, removing excess fat on the side of my chest. And I'm gonna talk about my experience during and after, and I'm gonna talk about the aftercare instructions that I got, which weren't much, really. I'm gonna talk first about the injections. That procedure involved 6 injections all along my scars, specifically along the most hypertrophic parts of my scars, and that's where I had way too much scar tissue that just wouldn't chill and just kept building up, and so my scars were getting bigger instead of smaller. That's not ideal. So the injections are meant to break up the collagen and fibers and stuff like that, and it's meant to improve the appearance of my scars. And during the procedure itself, when the injection was happening, I could feel the needle coming in and out of my scars, and it was not a good feeling. It was actually kind of painful, but the needle was just coming in fast and coming out fast that I didn't have that much time to process the pain, so it wasn't too bad. And immediately after the procedure, my scars got really swollen and they were actually very, very pale. Like, they were almost white. I was kind of weirded out by it. But towards the end of the day and into the night, it looked even weirder because they were bigger and then they'd gotten darker. Like, they were like a really dark, like purple kind of color, which was kind of creepy, to be honest. But then the next day, it wasn't that bad. They were still pretty swollen, but they were not purple anymore and were more like a red kind of color. And so over the 2 weeks, they improved a lot and they're a lot less swollen now. They're quite flat now, I think, and they're definitely looking better than they were before. I do have some discolored sections that are kind of weird looking, like it's like a grayish color, but I'm not too bothered and I'll see how things look like with more time. As for aftercare, there really wasn't much to do. I just put a little bit more love and attention into my scar massage along that area. I was just advised to stretch my chest out a lot more to just keep my scars from getting too stiff and to keep breaking up that collagen and stuff like that, I guess. So that's the injection procedure that I got done, and then the other one was the removal of the excess fat and skin and tissue that was left over on the right side of my chest. So that involved a local anesthetic, so I was injected with that, and of course the initial injections were pretty painful and uncomfortable, but after that I started to feel the numbness set in and I really didn't feel much pain, and if any, I did feel a little bit when I was being stitched up because my skin was being stretched, and that was a weird feeling. And immediately after my procedure, I stood up and I was able to walk. I was conscious. As the anesthetic started to wear off, I was starting to feel some pain and some discomfort and some stiffness, and it was not the best feeling. But I wasn't given any strong painkillers or anything after the surgery. I just was fine with Tylenol and Advil. And I only really needed it for the first little bit. I think in the second week, I didn't need any painkillers at all. First, maybe 3 or 4 days, I was binding my chest because it did feel like it helped with the swelling and with the pain. But after a few days, I just didn't bother anymore because I didn't really feel like I needed it, and it just felt like it was causing more discomfort and dysphoria than anything else. But yeah, right now, I don't really feel any pain anymore. I feel fine. But my scars and my stitches are still kind of odd looking. My stitches are still there and haven't quite come off yet. They're supposed to be coming off on their own, so I'm just waiting for that. But other than that, I'm really, really happy with my chest. The swelling and the just odd look to my chest is not there anymore, and I'm so much happier with it. But yeah, it's not perfect. I think my chest could still be a little bit better in some ways, but I I'm feeling a lot more content with it now, and I'm feeling a lot happier with it now, and now I'm just excited to keep working out and keep building up my chest and get more tattoos. Essentially, I didn't get like a lot of aftercare instructions. If anything, it was just to chill. They did suggest binding to help with the swelling and stuff like that, but it wasn't required. So I only just did it for the first few days. I wasn't told to like change the bandage or anything like that, so just came off after my first shower. And then the steri strip, I just had to remove it after 2 weeks. So I have done that, and that's how I know my scars look really funky right now. So for scar massage, I can't be doing that on that area for like another 2 or so weeks. But for working out, I'm cleared to start working out again, so I'm gonna be easing back into it in the next week. Not working out for 2 weeks has been weird. Recovery has been really, really easy. Pain management was easy. Moving around is like easy enough because I still have my left arm. And I hope this video was of value. For more videos documenting my top surgery journey, check out my playlist. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers now, because once I do, I'll be able to get a community tab and I'll be able to connect with you all better. And that'll be fun. That'll be cool, theoretically. So thanks in advance. And if you don't want to subscribe, I will accept that you are maybe, probably, potentially boring. Bye!